The food label in your pantry that proudly declares 0 grams of trans fat is legally permitted to lie to your face. Right now, under current food labeling regulations, if a product contains anything less than 0.5 grams of trans fatty acids per single serving, manufacturers are legally authorized to print a bold, round 0 on the front of that box. If you eat 3 servings of those crispy crackers, that frozen pie crust, or that non-dairy coffee creamer over an afternoon, you have quietly flooded your bloodstream with over 1 full gram of an industrially mutated lipid that human evolutionary biology was never designed to process. That hidden half gram is not harmless background noise. Inside your vascular highway, it changes the physical liquidity of your blood vessel walls, hijacks the cholesterol-clearing receptors in your liver, and sparks a slow-burning inflammatory cascade inside your endothelial cells. Today, you are going to see the exact molecular architecture of these phantom fats, understand how they quietly lodge themselves into your cellular membranes, and discover the precise biological software your body needs to clear the wreckage. To understand why a fraction of a gram matters so profoundly, we have to look at what happens inside an industrial oil refinery. In nature, liquid plant oils are packed with unsaturated fatty acids whose carbon chains possess natural curved bends known as cis bonds. These gentle molecular kinks keep the oil fluid, lightweight, and capable of moving easily through biological systems. But fluid oils spoil quickly and cannot hold the flaky, shelf-stable texture required by industrial snack foods. So chemical engineers introduced a process called partial hydrogenation. They take ordinary vegetable oil, heat it to scorching temperatures above 500 degrees, pump in pressurized hydrogen gas, and introduce powdered nickel as a catalyst. That chemical violence forces hydrogen atoms onto the carbon backbone, twisting the natural bend into an unnatural, perfectly straight line called a trans configuration. Think of a natural unsaturated fat as a flexible, winding garden hose. A trans fat is that same hose after it has been frozen into a rigid, unbending steel rod. When you swallow it, your digestive tract absorbs this synthetic shape without knowing any better, and your cells treat it like normal dietary fat, integrating it directly into your cell membranes. Your cell membranes are not static plastic walls. They are delicate, fluid mosaics made of a double layer of lipids that must remain flexible for nutrient transport, insulin signaling, and waste clearance. When you insert rigid, unnaturally straightened trans fats into that liquid bilayer, the membrane stiffens like butter left in a winter freeze. In 1990, researchers Ronald Mensing and Martijn Katan published a landmark clinical trial in the New England Journal of Medicine that shocked the scientific community. They proved that trans fatty acids do something uniquely catastrophic to human lipid metabolism. They simultaneously elevate low-density lipoprotein, your bad cholesterol, while actively suppressing high-density lipoprotein, your protective cholesterol. No other dietary lipid on Earth pulls both biochemical levers in the wrong direction at the exact same time. If you are standing in your kitchen right now realizing that your favorite zero trans fat peanut butter or microwave popcorn might be hiding this exact molecular distortion, take a quick moment and tap subscribe and leave a comment below. Sharing these hidden food mechanisms signals to the platform that real human biology matters more than clever label marketing, and it directly supports the independent research we do to uncover what is actually happening inside your cells. Now, let us look at what that dual cholesterol shift does inside the actual blood vessel. When your low-density lipoproteins circulate through stiffened, inflamed vascular tissue, they become extremely vulnerable to oxidation. This is where the real danger begins. Your immune system possesses specialized white blood cells called macrophages. Under normal conditions, these macrophages ignore healthy, flowing cholesterol particles. But when an oxidized low-density lipoprotein particle enriched with trans fats encounters a macrophage, a primitive biological alarm triggers. The macrophage deploys a specialized surface docking protein called a scavenger receptor, specifically scavenger receptor class B type 1 and CD36. The the macrophage does not gently process this lipid. It engulfs it greedily, consuming oxidized particles one after another until it becomes engorged, sluggish, and completely incapacitated. At this exact point, the living immune cell transforms into what pathologists call a foam cell. These foam cells cannot escape the interior lining of your artery. They anchor themselves directly beneath the delicate single layer of endothelial cells that line your blood vessels. As more foam cells aggregate, they release inflammatory cytokines, molecules like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, which recruit even more immune cells to the scene. What began as a microscopic fraction of a gram of altered oil on a Tuesday afternoon has now catalyzed a permanent microscopic construction zone inside your arterial wall. How often do you check the ingredient list for the specific phrase partially hydrogenated? Many people never look past the bold nutrition facts panel on the front. In 2006, Dr. Dariush Mozaffarian and his team at the Harvard School of Public Health published a comprehensive metabolic review estimating that a tiny increase of just 2% of daily caloric intake from trans fats was associated with a staggering 23% increase in the incidence of cardiovascular disease. 2%. That is equivalent to roughly 20 to 40 calories a day, the precise amount hidden inside 2 cookies or a single tablespoon of commercial shortening hiding behind a 0-gram loophole. The biological assault does not stop at arterial plaque. Trans fats actively poison your liver's delta-6 desaturase enzyme, the critical biological gateway your body requires to convert plant-based omega-3 fats into the long-chain anti-inflammatory compounds your brain and heart crave. By choking this single enzymatic checkpoint, hidden trans fats systematically starve your tissues of natural anti-inflammatory protection. So what does the modern food industry do in response to these bans? They frequently replace partially hydrogenated oils with chemically interesterified fats or heavily refined palm fractions, rearranging triglyceride molecules in synthetic configurations that early research suggests may still trigger similar endothelial inflammation and disrupt post-meal blood sugar clearance. You do not need to feel defenseless against this chemistry. Your vascular endothelium possesses an astonishing capacity for self-repair when you remove the disruptive molecular input and provide the specific biological building blocks required to restore membrane fluidity. Here are 3 concrete, evidence-based nutritional protocols to protect and rebuild your vascular architecture starting today. Protocol number 1 is the ingredient transparency filter. Ignore the front of package marketing entirely. Turn the box around and scan the actual ingredient line for 3 specific danger terms: partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, vegetable shortening, and mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. Mono and diglycerides are emulsifiers that frequently contain trans isomers, yet because they are classified as emulsifiers rather than triglycerides, they are completely exempt from the trans fat reporting line on the nutrition facts panel. If any of those 3 terms appear in the fine print, the product goes back on the shelf, regardless of what the large 0 on the front claims. Protocol number 2 is the targeted membrane replacement strategy. Your cell membranes replace their fatty acid components constantly based on what you feed them over a 3 to 4 month cycle. To flush out stiffened, rigid trans isomers and restore cellular elasticity, supply your system with unrefined, cold-extracted monounsaturated and long-chain polyunsaturated fats daily. Consume 2 tablespoons of genuinely fresh, unheated, extra virgin olive oil every single day. The high concentration of oleic acid and the polyphenol oleocanthal acts as biological software that downregulates the inflammatory nuclear factor kappa B pathway in your endothelial cells. Pair this with 12 to 16 ounces of wild-caught cold-water fish weekly, such as sockeye salmon, sardines, or mackerel, delivering approximately 1 to 2 grams of preformed eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. These flexible omega-3 molecules physically wedge themselves into your stiffened lipid bilayers, forcing the cell membrane back into a state of vibrant, fluid motion. Protocol number 3 is the endothelial nitric oxide restoration protocol. When your blood vessels have been exposed to industrial fats, the enzyme endothelial nitric oxide synthase becomes decoupled, producing tissue-damaging superoxide instead of protective, vessel-relaxing nitric oxide. To recouple this enzyme and protect your arteries from oxidized plaque formation, consume 1 cup of deeply pigmented dark berries, such as wild blueberries or blackberries, alongside 2 cups of high-nitrate leafy greens like arugula or cooked beet greens daily. The rich anthocyanins and natural dietary nitrates work synergistically to quench endothelial oxidative stress, allowing your vessels to naturally dilate, breathe, and sweep away cellular debris. Look closely at how your relationship with food just shifted. You no longer look at a food package as an innocent collection of calories, grams, and corporate health claims. You see it for what it truly is: biological information that either programs your blood vessels for elasticity and longevity or forces your cells to build brittle, inflamed walls. Check your pantry right now. What is the single food in your cupboard that you suspect might be hiding hydrogenated oils behind a zero trans fat claim? Drop your answer in 5 words or less below. Tap the like button right now to bookmark this guide so you can quickly pull up these 3 lipid rebuilding protocols the next time you are standing in the grocery aisle deciphering ingredient lists. Your cardiovascular biology is constantly renewing itself, cell by cell, meal by meal. Make sure you subscribe to Nutrition Decoded right now so you do not miss the shocking truth we are currently investigating about a widespread cooking oil alternative that claims to be heart healthy while quietly accelerating cellular aging from the inside out. Your body deserves the unvarnished truth.